iceberg lettuce. You think romaine was descended from Orpheus's laurel wreath. You think raw spinach had all the nutritional benefits attributed to it by Popeye, not to mention aesthetic subtleties worthy of Verlaine and Debussy. They'll even salivate over chopped red cabbage, just to disparage poor old Mr. Iceberg lettuce. I guess the problem is it's just too common for them. It doesn't matter that it tastes good, has a satisfying, crunchy texture, holds its freshness, and has crevices for the dressing. Whereas the darker, leafier varieties are often bitter, gritty, and flat. It just isn't different enough, and it's too goddamn American. Of course, a critic has to criticize. A critic has to have something to say. Perhaps that's why literary critics purport to find interesting so much contemporary poetry that just bores the shit out of me. At any rate, I really enjoy a salad with plenty of chunky iceberg lettuce. The more the merrier. Drenched in an Italian or Roquefort dressing. And the poems I enjoy are those I don't have to pretend that I'm enjoying. And my response, entitled, "Let Us Appreciate It All." The crinkly texture of a springy simile, the incredibly delicate verdure of onomatopoeia, those delicious devices critics seem to believe need to be drowned in the dressing of deeper meaning. Really? When you read, "Look at that car crashing into a tree." That is not a tree, you see. It represents Sandra Lee and the horror of her capitalist industry, and the car is the people oppressed and suffering under the sharp ornamental heel of the bourgeoisie. No. Sometimes thick Thousand Island meaning is too heavy a garnish for simple greenery. And while I do know that some love to craft layer after layer of an onion poem and have had the scholarly pleasure of flaying them and their symbolism bare, I can't help but not care when someone condescends to share with me the perceived wiles of poets like the Apostle Paul preached into the Gentiles about the Bible of writing styles. And sadly, the divine revelation of overanalyzation seems to fall upon all who deign to entertain those who can prattle on poems like L'après-midi d'enfant. It's fancy because it's French, you see, and its symbols lack the stench of simplicity. And no, you can't just like it because it's pretty. Well, I do. It's the simple things I like, and it's the simple things that seem to have been forgotten by these rotten Philistines. Whatever happened to celebrating those who could capture the likeness of a rose in easy flowering prose? Or like Pound, who in 2 little lines could show a station of the metro? Or even the wonder that can be brewed through a little haiku? No, I'm not schismatic, and I'm not dramatic enough to yell and cuss at its imagery or bust. No, I never want to shush any author of an onion poem. I'm just saying we should be sure that the big bowl of literature be given a stir and filled with more diverse verse, because all sorts of poetry is good with me. I just wish the world would agree. And critics, not to be rude, but writing doesn't have to be understood to be good.